Von Blackbow back again for the second part of the installment. This time we're covering storylines. Now, the first picture I'm showing you here is what a traditional storyline looks like when you're doing a choose your own adventure book, or even a choose your own adventure YouTube. They'll give you the information, they give you a choice, and then you select on what you're going to do. Now, barring them overlapping on the decisions later on in the tree, a simple 5 choices by the end of it, you're dealing with something along the lines of 36 different choices. 36 different endings. Now, what I'm going to show you is the version that I work with. Now, in the version I work with, you got a starting point, which is pretty much what exactly at the start of the Choose Your Own Adventure. And normally in those after that, you normally have something along the line of a A-B kind of choice. You take the left road or you take the right road. Now, the next part of it is going to be a beeline kind of decision. You either go straight to go do something, or you make a little side trip and get there when you're supposed to be. The difference in those two might be a very slight variation on what happens at the end of the part. You might get there early and have to wait, or you might go the long way around and find out something you didn't know otherwise. Now, the next thing you see below it is the D, E, and F choice. The D, E, F choice is what I like because if I give you you think you should do this or you think you should do that, but then someone comes along and says, what if we do this? And when the majority of the people follow the F decision, it can cause something that you didn't even think about. Join the bad guys, run away from the bad guys, or pretend to join them only to do that with the purpose of bringing them down. Now, the next part is the exploration part. This is normally when you're in, say, a large castle, a building, or even in a small town, where you know that there are certain buildings you haven't been to yet, but you can go back to any time. Now, that's kind of event that helps you to do stuff like the item finding and using. The locked door and there's the welcome mat. You lift up the welcome mat, there's the key. You use the key to unlock the door. And then you got your puzzles. This could be anything as simple as doing the last move on a checkers board to as complicated as, say, reciting all the prime numbers from 1 to 100. You don't want to make these puzzles, though, too hard, because if you're the only one who's solving it, then it really takes away from the story for the people who's participating. The next thing I want to say on that is then you have the skill use. Skill use is when you have your character knows what kind of skills they have and the people know what kind of skills that person has. They can then use said skills to do stuff like light a fire in a fireplace. And then there's the skill challenges. That's when you're faced with this or that kind of challenge. You can either bluff your way past the guard, or you can hide behind the box and wait for the guard to leave. Either one is a possible idea, but either one of them has a chance of failure based on whatever system you're using. Now, for the endings, the sum total of everything that they've done will result in what the endings could be. Now, your normal best possible ending might be something like you save the world, you get the girl, you're famous and you get money, to the very bad ending where you're enslaved and you'll never be able to do anything to save your life again. Now, when you do the DEF's endings, you could have endings that you were not honestly expecting. Something like you save the world, you get the girl, you're famous, you have money, and the king gives you the throne. And then you have the very worst possible ones that are even worse than what you were thinking. You're dead. It's all up to what you allow the people to do and what you end up letting the outcomes be to some extent. Now, the history of these books goes back quite a ways, actually. They go from anything. They have all sorts of them, from a building your own robot to murder mysteries, D&D kind of adventures, future adventures, haunted mansions, that kind of stuff. And they persist even to this day. It's just one of those ones that you don't see all the time. You have to know where to look in the bookstore, know who to ask in the bookstore to be able to find the book versions. It's also like typing in the right search words in YouTube to be able to find your own Choose Your Own Adventures on YouTube. But if you think this is just a side stream, they've also done it for games, movies, different series. The one thing I want to tell you, though, is regardless of you doing it in a future setting, a video game setting, or whatever setting, you want to know what your world is about, because you don't want to make a Star Wars theme but make it feel like it's completely MechWarriors or Dungeons and Dragons. So know the character you want the people to play as. Know what the adventure is going to be about. It could be about a stormtrooper who's actually working for the Rebel Alliance. You could be doing a MechWarrior pilot trying to run away from his problems, but stuck in some situation that brings out his past. You could be an up-and-coming superhero that's trying to prove himself in the world. You could be a wayward adventurer seeking fame and glory. Or you could even do it based on an anime series that you like, where you either are a character that everybody knows or one that you made up yourself and is interacting with those characters. It can be whatever you really want it to be about. It can be something as common and as mundane as a boy or a girl asking the other one out. Just make sure that you try to stick true to what you like and what you believe in. One last note. I still haven't gotten any comments on what I should draw for the last one. So if you want to, the forum's still open up until I start doing the last one, and I'll try to let people know in advance. The next one is going to be on sound effects and how to use basic audio. Thank you for listening. I hope that you guys start making some great videos sometime, and let me know when you do.